Before the story itself begins, before love is tested, hearts are broken, and quiet strength proves greater than grand passion, we must first step into the world of its creator. Jane Austen, one of England's most beloved novelists, wrote not of kings or wars, but of drawing rooms, country walks, whispered conversations, and the invisible battles of the human heart. She was born in 1775 in the serene countryside of Hampshire, England, surrounded by rolling hills, meandering rivers, and small villages that seemed frozen in time. Her father, a clergyman, encouraged her curiosity and love for literature, while her lively family and spirited sisters provided a constant source of inspiration. Within this delicate yet socially rigid world, Austen honed her sharp eye for human behavior and her talent for satire and subtle irony. Sense and Sensibility was her first published novel, released in 1811. She had been refining it for years, first drafting it under the title Eleanor and Marianne, crafting a story of love, reason, and emotional depth that would resonate through centuries. Published anonymously as By a Lady, the novel entered the world quietly, yet it carried a voice of remarkable acuity and sensitivity, capturing the inner lives of women navigating a society that often limited their choices to fortune and marriage. And now, the story begins. Picture the grand estate of Norland Park, rising gracefully amidst lush green fields in the county of Sussex. Its stone walls, wrapped in ivy, and tall windows that glimmer with morning light tell stories of generations past. Within these walls lives the Dashwood family, a gentle, affectionate household bound more by love than by wealth. But in Austen's world, comfort and serenity are fragile, and soon their stability is tested. When Mr. Dashwood dies unexpectedly, his family's fortune and future change overnight. Because of the laws of inheritance, Norland does not pass to his widow and daughters, but instead to John Dashwood, his son from a previous marriage. John promises his father he will care for his stepmother and stepsisters, but under the influence of his cold, calculating wife Fanny, the promise weakens. Compassion falters where convenience and selfishness take hold. With polite words masking indifference, Mrs. Dashwood and her 3 daughters, Eleanor, Marianne, and Margaret, are forced to leave their beloved home. The carriage that once brought joy and laughter now carries them away from all they knew, through winding roads and under gray, brooding skies, to a modest cottage in Devonshire, offered by a distant, kind relative, Sir John Middleton. Though smaller and simpler than Norland, Barton Cottage becomes their new world, a world where new experiences, new friendships, and new heartaches await.
Eleanor, the eldest, embodies reason and composure. She feels deeply, but she governs her emotions with careful thought. She understands the world as it is, not as she wishes it to be. Every glance, every word, every decision she makes is measured and deliberate. She is the quiet strength that anchors her family. Marianne, the second sister, is the embodiment of emotion and passion. She believes in love that overwhelms the senses, that makes the heart race and the soul ache. She trusts in the purity of feeling, letting her emotions guide her every action. Where Eleanor is calm and measured, Marianne is fire and tempest. Through them, Austen explores the delicate balance between reason and emotion, sense and sensibility. The sisters' contrasting natures are tested immediately in their new surroundings. The cottage is modest, yet it opens to a world of rolling hills, fragrant gardens, and winding lanes, scenes painted vividly by Austen's hand. Morning light streams through simple windows, illuminating the dew on the garden flowers. Birds sing in the hedgerows, and the distant hills seem to stretch endlessly toward the horizon, hinting at the possibilities and the heartaches that await.
Love enters Eleanor's life gently, almost unnoticed, yet profoundly felt. Before leaving Norland, she had grown close to Edward Ferrars, Fanny Dashwood's shy, earnest, and morally upright brother. Edward is not a man of flamboyance or grand gestures. He is quiet, reflective, and deeply sincere. He stumbles through social interactions, awkwardly polite, yet his integrity shines in every decision. Eleanor recognizes in him a kindred spirit, someone whose depth of character transcends surface charm. Their affection grows slowly, like a seed nurtured in silence. They exchange meaningful glances across parlors, share unspoken understanding during walks in the countryside, and find comfort in mutual respect. Their love is understated, not requiring dramatic declarations, yet it is enduring and true, a love that whispers rather than shouts. Yet obstacles appear even in this quiet romance. Edward leaves abruptly, and rumors begin to spread. His family expects him to marry for wealth, not for affection. Eleanor, though her heart aches, maintains her composure, concealing her emotions with a strength that borders on stoicism. Her pain is silent, a heavy weight she carries alone. Marianne's love, by contrast, is a storm. She meets John Willoughby after a twist of fate. A sprained ankle on a rain-slicked path brings them together. Willoughby is the romantic ideal, handsome, charming, poetic. He shares Marianne's love of music and literature, and he seems to speak directly to her soul. Their connection is immediate, electric, undeniable. They walk together through fields shimmering with rain, sunlight glinting off puddles, their laughter mingling with the patter of drops. They exchange letters filled with longing, sit by fires that flicker and throw dancing shadows
Willoughby.
across the walls,
What is it?
and share
This
moments
warmth, it
that
feels
feel
so right.
eternal. To Marianne, this is the embodiment of true love, passionate, consuming, all-encompassing. Yet, as the seasons change, the sweetness of romance turns bittersweet. Willoughby leaves for London, and his letters become infrequent, then cease entirely. Marianne defends him, believing in his love, clinging to hope even as it slips through her fingers. Her heartbreak is dramatic, visceral, like a storm that refuses to dissipate. She travels to London with Eleanor, yearning for reunion, only to find Willoughby distant, cold, and formally polite. The intimacy they once shared appears to have vanished. A letter arrives, curt and controlled. He is engaged to a wealthy young woman. Marianne's world collapses, her grief so intense that she falls ill, teetering on the edge of life itself. Meanwhile, Eleanor faces her own trials. In London, she discovers that Edward Ferrars has long been secretly engaged to Lucy Steele, a clever and manipulative woman who has been waiting for him to inherit fortune or freedom. Edward, bound by honor, refuses to break the engagement. Eleanor's sorrow is profound, yet she bears it with quiet dignity, never letting it disrupt her support for Marianne. Her endurance contrasts with Marianne's visible agony, highlighting the different forms strength can take. Time passes. Marianne's illness serves as a crucible, tempering her impulsive nature. She begins to recognize the dangers of unchecked emotion, the toll it takes on herself and those around her. Sensibility, in its raw form, has taught her the necessity of balance.
Oh, Edward.
Willoughby returns, not as a lover, but as a man contrite and regretful. He confesses that he truly loved Marianne, yet was forced to marry for financial security. His confession humanizes him, showing the frailty of human decisions and the complexity of morality. The world Austen paints is rarely black and white. Even mistakes are layered with humanity. Edward Ferrar's situation shifts dramatically. Disowned by his family for his steadfast refusal to abandon Lucy Steele, he loses fortune and social standing, yet gains freedom and integrity. Lucy, ever practical, turns her attention to another suitor, leaving Edward finally unbound. He returns to Barton Cottage, humble but determined, and asks for Eleanor's hand. The proposal is simple, heartfelt, unadorned by theatrics. Eleanor's long-held restraint gives way to tears, a release of hope and love kept silent for too long. Sense has triumphed, not with spectacle, but with enduring, quiet happiness. Marianne's love story also resolves in a way that defies her youthful ideals. She grows to appreciate the steadfast devotion of Colonel Brandon, a man older, reserved, and deeply principled. Where Willoughby sparked her passion, Brandon offers stability, respect, and patient love. In him, Marianne finds a love that is both tender and enduring, a love that balances sensibility with reason. Her journey demonstrates that emotional intensity, when guided by experience, can lead to a richer, more sustainable love. The Dashwood sisters, once vulnerable and displaced, emerge transformed. They have suffered, endured, and grown, learning the delicate interplay between passion and prudence. Norland Park may have been lost, yet the gain is profound. Emotional wisdom, understanding, and the ability to love wisely. Austen's narrative does not glorify youthful impulsivity or quiet stoicism alone. It celebrates the balance between them, revealing that true happiness often arises not from fiery passion alone, nor from rigid sense, but from their harmonious blend. For young adults, the story resonates across centuries. Who has not loved the wrong person, mistaken intensity for sincerity, or hidden pain behind a composed exterior? Through Austen's vivid depiction of country walks, candlelit parlors, and handwritten letters, readers experience timeless emotional truths. Marianne's heartbreak and Eleanor's resilience mirror the universal journey from youthful idealism to mature understanding.